System provisioning is the commissioning step where the system is programmed and configured using the installer app. The system won't function without being provisioned properly. To provision the system, ensure the installer app and the phone are connected to the IQ Gateway, and the installer app shows a blue "Connected to IQ Gateway" message on the screen. Before beginning the provisioning process, the system will check to see if there are any software updates needed and may perform a brief update. I'll want to make sure the cellular modem is plugged into the IQ Gateway. Wait for any software updates to complete and then continue to the provisioning step. To begin the provisioning step, tap on the Start Provisioning Devices button in the installer app. There will be a pop-up notification that the system commissioning must be done by a certified installer. A drop-down list will appear with the names of all the Enphase recognized certified installers in your company. Find and select your name from the drop-down list. Another pop-up will confirm that you acknowledge that the system was designed, installed, and commissioned per Enphase guidelines. If IQ8 microinverters were installed in the system with a system controller, to commission these, you must also be a certified IQ8 microinverter installer. Find and select your name as the certified IQ8 installer and confirm your acknowledgement. After the acknowledgements, the installer app will start the process of programming the IQ Gateway and communicate with all devices to program them as well. During the device provisioning process, the system will go through several communication sequences to establish and verify good connectivity. During the process, the Enphase installer app on your mobile device will program the IQ Gateway with all of the devices it will communicate with and manage. Starting with the microinverters first, verifying each device, and then to the system controller if configured with one, and then each of the IQ batteries. The final confirmation that the IQ Gateway is configured and communicating properly with each of the devices is a final message showing the device is provisioned. After the system is successfully provisioned, we will have to do some final system configuration steps and operate the system to verify if it functions correctly and as expected. You can continue to the next system commissioning step. In this section, we're going to be talking about connecting the IQ Gateway and provisioning the system. Provisioning is the last step of configuring the Enphase Energy System. Provisioning takes all of the information from the installer app on the phone and programs the IQ Gateway to manage, monitor, and operate the system. To provision the system, we have to first establish a data connection between the installer app on our phone to the IQ Gateway. Connecting to the IQ Gateway is step 3 in the overall commissioning process of the installer app. Access the system on the installer app and tap IQ Gateway connectivity. For the installer app on the phone to be able to connect to the IQ Gateway, we will need to first turn on a function called AP mode on the IQ Gateway. Locate the gateway in the AC combiner and press the second button on the gateway briefly and release. The green light will turn on indicating AP mode is now on. With AP mode on the IQ Gateway, tap Connect on the installer app. The installer app will use the phone's Wi-Fi to connect to the IQ Gateway. The phone will connect to the Wi-Fi of the IQ Gateway, and when it's connected, you'll see the orange bar at the top of the screen turn from an orange bar to a blue bar, indicating the phone is connected. When the installer app is connected and communicating with the gateway, you'll see the connection status on the diagram that's pictured on the screen. The picture shows the phone is connected to the IQ Gateway, and in this picture, the Wi-Fi has also been configured so the IQ Gateway is also connected to the internet. If you need to configure the Wi-Fi connection for your customer on the IQ Gateway to communicate with the customer's network, you can do it on this screen by tapping the Wi-Fi section and following instructions. If there's a software update needed, the installer app will notify you as it's needed. When you are connected to the IQ Gateway, you can now proceed to start the provisioning process. To begin system provisioning, tap on the Start Provisioning Devices button. There will be a pop-up notification that the system commissioning must be done by a certified installer. Find and select your name from the drop-down list that has the names of certified installers in your company. Another pop-up will confirm that you acknowledge that the system was designed, installed, and commissioned per Enphase guidelines. If you're installing IQ8 microinverters in this system, this must also be done by a certified installer. Find and select your name as the certified IQ8 installer and confirm your acknowledgement. The installer app will now begin programming the IQ Gateway and communicate with all of its devices to program them as well. After the system provisioning is complete, you can continue to the next step of commissioning and final functional validation.